to another episode of Bragging Rights. This week I'm joined by Jeremy Gagne of the Warmongers. Lately he's been playing with us Lost Legion people, but he's still a New York Warmonger apparently. Jeremy, why don't you talk a little bit about your history in the hobby?
Let's see. So I started really back in high school. Didn't actually play that much. Kind of quit, and then when the Lord of the Rings movie started coming out when I was in college, I was like, hey, this reminds me of that game I used to play. So I started up again. I used to play at the GW over in Harvard Square in Cambridge. Played Empire for a while. They looked really crappy, so I decided I needed to sit down and paint a good army, and that's why I did my Wood Elves, and they definitely look a lot better. And been playing them ever since because I'm too lazy to paint anything else.
You've got a lot of best painteds. Have you ever won like Best General or anything like that with Wood Elves?
No, it's certainly gotten a lot harder in 8th edition, as everyone knows, for the Wood Elves. Best I ever got was 7th edition. I think I came in 7th place or 8th place once.
Which tournament?
At a tournament.
Colonial?
Crossroads, I believe.
All right, that makes sense.
A while ago. Yeah, it's they're more on the soft score side, so definitely a good paint score and sportsmanship helps. So.
Gotcha. Well, we're getting ready to go to the Colonial GT next week, which is a 2,500 point GT that's held in New Jersey every year. It's, I believe, the oldest independent GT in the United States. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what it is. It's like
pretty close to it. It's been around for many years. Started in Virginia, and New Jersey. Yeah,
and they had it. They've had it all sorts of different places. They had it at Atlantic City one year. They had it at Cherry Hill a few times. This year it's in Clark, New Jersey. This week I'm happy to pull out a brand new army that I've actually never used in a real game. This is an army that is almost completely made up of Mantic models. Mantic is a UK company that makes alternative miniatures for wargaming, and their miniatures also are made to support their game, Kings of War. But really, I think most people are using these minis to play other things. In this case, we're using them for Warhammer. They're very perfect for that. These are my Mantic High Elves. I was lucky enough to meet Ronnie at Adepticon last year, and he gave me a nice little High Elf army. And I picked these up and picked up some models to fill them out from a guy in England who's, I don't remember his name right now. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. I believe he was like the chairman of the Northwest Wargamers Association or something like that. All right, so for my army, I chose to take, as you can see in this picture, 2 big dragons. I realized that fire dragons aren't the strongest choice, but I wanted to have a little bit of fun in the report, and I wanted to try out the Star Dragon. I figured I'd do 2 birds with 1 stone. For core, I took, kind of standard big block of archers. These guys all are modeled with shields, just because that's how the Mantic models are made, which is kind of a bummer because there really is no option to field these in Warhammer. You could use them as Lothar and Seaguard, but they don't have spears, so you'd have to convert them. And you can use them as archers, but archers are supposed to be unarmored. So, whatever. I figure most people won't mind if I play these as archers. I've got them with a full command and no magic banner. I also took a large group of 29 spearmen, and these spearmen are fielded with the standard of discipline. And these models, a lot of people say, are a little too spindly for their liking or too fragile, but I think they're perfect because I grew up thinking of High Elves as they appear in the Hobbit cartoon. Have you seen that, Jeremy?
I have not seen it.
It's so good. It's the Greatest Adventure song. You've never heard that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's from the Hobbit. You should watch it. And I also took a large unit of White Lions. These are Mantics. I believe they're called Palace Guard. They can easily dual purpose as White Lions or as Swordmasters because they got nice big sword options. I did a mix of swords and axes so that I can kind of field them as both. And in a pinch, really, I don't think anybody would mind if you used them as Phoenix Guard too. They're pretty versatile models. They're nice metal. Most of them's one sculpt. It's just the weapon that's and the heads that are the options. For heroes, I took a Lord on a Star Dragon who has the Van Braces and an Enchanted Shield and the Trickster's Shard, so anybody he attacks has to reroll successful ward saves. And then he also has just a longbow and the Dragon Armor. I figure this is a nice survivable setup, and hopefully he's also got a Lance, and hopefully he's doing enough wounds every combat that he doesn't need Stubborn. We'll see how that works out. I also brought a level 2 Fire Mage who picks his spells, her in this case, and she also has the Sword of, I think it's called Warrior's Bane. It's any monster or character that he hits, she hits, and does a wound to, lose an attack permanently. And she's also got the Opal Amulet, which I really like. It's a 4-up on your first ward save. And then finally, rounding out the characters, I have a level 2 who has an extra spell and also the Lore Master's Cloak, which unfortunately does not give you Lore Master, but does give you a 2-up against any magic, which will really protect you against, death sniping or even magic missiles or anything like that. And so that's my army. And I'll pass it over to Jeremy to talk about his.
So, as I said, I'm playing the Wood Elves. It's very challenging these days in 8th edition. My list starting off with was very 7th edition oriented, and I didn't really have any other points to fill it out. So a lot of this is recent work, even though I've had the army for a while. I started off, I have 3 units of archers that you can see here. They all have champions and a banner and a musician. And there's the big unit in the middle has the flaming banner. And you can also see in the back over there some models that look like Glade Riders. I'm actually using them as Wild Riders, just trying them out, and they only have the musician.
They look pretty wild to me. That's good.
Yeah, that's true. The requisite Dryads, I got 3 units of 8. We'd like to have them bigger, but, got to find points someplace for other units. And in the back there, something new I'm trying out. I took out my Tree Man that I usually use, and I'm using 2 units of War Dancers. Haven't used them in a while. Obviously, everyone says they're not very good these days, and certainly be challenging to use versus High Elves with the Always Strike first.
Very.
So I have to be very careful with them. And here's the centerpiece of my army. I sculpted these myself out of green stuff. It took a while, probably a month. Over the course of a month, I did it. They actually ended up being really big. I didn't realize that GW's Treekin were so small because I didn't have anything any reference point.
I'm pretty sure GW's Treekin make it to the knees of these models.
Yeah, they're pretty big, but it's okay. They're good for a centerpiece. And same thing with my Tree Man, who's not here. Too bad we didn't take a picture of him, but he's also hand sculpted and along the similar lines as these guys. In the back here, we got the 2 eagles. Too bad we can't be like High Elves and take 4. And those models over there that look like Way Watchers, they're actually just scouts. Again, didn't have the points to fill it out to Way Watchers, unfortunately. And then moving on to my characters, I have my Lord. He's a Highborn. He's riding an eagle.
And what model is that?
That model is an original made by me. I actually stole the concept from some Wood Elf website that I saw that someone made. It's made out of a Beastman torso, Beastman arms, Empire Great Weapon, and then some various Wood Elf bits. Shaved it down a little bit so he didn't look as bulky like a Beastman, and that's what I got. I think he looks pretty good. So he's on the eagle. He has the dragon helm. He has the stubborn crown. He has the Stone of Rebirth, which is the Wood Elf item, not to be confused with the Seed of Rebirth, which when you're down to 1 wound gives you the 2+ ward save. And he also has Annoyance of Netlings for those challenges. And then I have my level 4 Beast Mage. I've been running a life almost exclusively up until like this month, and I started using Beasts and I actually enjoy it a lot more. It's more versatile, and it makes up for a lot of areas that Wood Elves are lacking in. One good Amber Spear is it's very, I don't know, whatever.
I've found Beasts a lot harder to use, but they're a lot more rewarding if played well.
Yeah, it's definitely got some cool spells. Obviously, Wissens is great, and the Curse is also pretty good. So my Spell Weaver has a Dispel Scroll. I had always been running it with a 4-up ward save, but then I realized there's really no point because I'm never getting into combat. If I am in combat, then he's probably dead already. So I was just fooling around trying some different items. Tried the Horn of the Azri, which is a pretty crappy item. I just thought I'd try it, and we called it a very, very poor man's Siren Song. If you guys don't know what it does, it's any unit that's within charge range has to take a leadership test or charge the bearer. So
and basically it works out like if you're in BSB range, you can charge if you feel like it. Otherwise, you don't have to.
It's pretty bad. It's probably good on the flanks or something. Low leadership units might work, but I don't know if I'll ever take it again after this game. We'll see how it works out.
I feel like the low leadership ones, those are the times that you're winning anyway, right?
Maybe. Who knows? Well, we'll see. And then here's my my BSB, who also doubles as my Dragon Rider. I got the little magnet for his banner, and he has the traditional BSB kit, which is the Magical Bow, Ascendia's Bane, and Hail of Doom Arrow. And so that fills out my army.
All right, excellent. Well, we'll get on to the table now. We used one of my new tables that's on loan from Alan McNabb, and we got mostly Gale Force 9 terrain. We have 2 woods, 3 hills, a 2-level building, that's kind of the Tree of Woe thing, and then that nice little patch of carpet there is grass. Grass terrain is in the ETC rules pack this year, and if I'm not mistaken, it gives soft cover to any infantry that are standing in it. So it has very minimal effect on the game, but it's nice to practice with that piece.
And there we have another woods that magically appeared.
Yeah, well,
my free wood.
I won table sides, and I chose the top side to the right, and Jeremy had to deploy first.
Yeah, so I just threw down the 2 eagles, which is very common, and looks like I was matched over there by Matt's 2 eagles.
Yeah, I threw an eagle in the woods, thinking to myself that I wanted the soft cover. I'm not exactly sure what I was thinking there. The other one I just deployed back so that even if he moved, he wouldn't be able to shoot me, which is probably the better choice. And for the next deployments.
Oh yeah, looks like I put some dryads down way over there.
And I'm still in the eagle phase, so I threw one on the table edge on top of that hill on the right.
Looks like I'm in the process of throwing down some more dryads over there, yeah. And, trying to go for some symmetrical deployment. Don't want them to know where I'm going to set up all my good stuff yet, so we'll see where everything lands.
Yeah, I'm lucky I'm able to throw down another eagle. I'm not sure exactly why I tried to out-deploy you. I did kind of the, you don't know where I'm going to deploy tactic, but really I should have just gone with a strong side probably and just picked either left or right flank.
Yeah, probably would have been best. Looks like I threw down another unit of dryads in my free forest. Nothing like some stubborn skirmishers in the woods.
And I threw down my spearmen. They're planning on moving next turn into that field, giving themselves some soft cover, and then the turn after that, they're up into your army.
Looks like my next deployment was my Glade Rider looking Wild Riders out on the flank.
And I threw down my archers next to my spears.
And I was... What did I put down next? Oh, it looks like I got some war dancers over there behind the dryads.
And I'm quickly realizing that I've got 1 deployment left, and he's got like 6, and I still don't know where his army is. So I'm kind of screwed at this point. So I threw my White Lions in the center, and they're hoping to move forward and get some points off dryads or war dancers. And then I'm on hero deployment. I roll for my spells for my wizards, which a lot of us around here have always played that you roll for spells before the game, but that just is not true. You roll for spells as you deploy. So right here I have my Fire Mage who actually picks her spells, and she has Fireball and Flaming Sword. And then my level 2 High Magic who has 1 extra spell, got Drain Magic, Shield, Fury of Cain, and that terrible one. Whatever one gives you Stubborn. I don't even remember what it's called.
I don't know what it's called either. So it looks like I'm continuing with my deployment. I put down another unit of War Dancers over there on the left, and I'm continuing to finish my deployments. Looks like so I finished all of my deployments, which you'll see shortly. Here's my Wizard. I was rolling on Beasts. I got Curse, Amber Spear, Wissons, and Flock of Doom.
Yeah, pretty good rolls.
Yeah, those are pretty good spells. I'd like to have those. So here you can see my archers all ended up on the left-hand side. I have a BSB in one unit. I have the mage in the big unit, and then my lord on the eagle is behind them, and then I have the tree cannon off to the side.
And my dragons are the red dragons up against the table edge, just because I thought some shooting might pick off that mage. And my star dragon is a little bit forward because he's trying to just almost immediately he wants to cross that table and go looking for points.
And then I also put down my scouts. Don't forget there's an eagle over there in that forest somewhere, so we'll see what happens with that.
You're in scouts, I think.
Yeah, I got the scouts. So then it looks like we're about ready to start the first turn.
Yeah, I rolled a 3 + 1 for finishing first and got a 4, and then Jeremy said I'm going to roll a 5, and he did roll a 5.
So then I got to go. That's how good I am. So we have my first moves. You can see that the Wild Riders had some get up and go in them. They had their Vanguard move, and then they moved out onto the flank, moved my scouts into the forest to try and shoot at the eagle, and then I have my flanks moving up, trying to get around onto his flanks or maybe into the rear. Move my archers up so that they could be in range, and that was basically it.
Yeah, I made a pretty huge error there. I've gotten used to with my demons deploying so that when I'm facing scouts, I have on either edge of my army either a fiend or a unit of furies facing my flank, so that you can't put a scout anywhere where he's not going to get charged first turn. And I just kind of forgot this game. I'm not used to playing high elves or playing against wood elves.
So moving on to my magic phase, it looks like some things happened over here. Looking down, it looks like I got off a flock of, what is it, crows?
Flock of Doom.
Flock of Doom, I don't know, whatever it's called, the flock spell. 2d6 strength 2. Not bad against elves, needing 5s. So he let that one go. I only managed to kill one, though. And he stopped my other spell, which looks like was a... Or no, I got...
No.
Yeah, I got the other one off.
No, I stopped that.
Oh, yeah, he stopped it. I obviously can't add. So it looks like I was trying to throw a curse at somebody. And then moving on to the shooting phase, looks like we have an upturned eagle. So as you might be able to tell, my scouts came up big and bagged me an eagle. And then that looks like it was it for shooting. Didn't kill anything else.
Yeah. The rest of the shooting plucked off like 3 white lions. That 3+ armor save is just really great, and I was using the terrain to give myself cover against his shooting. Well, in my turn, it's time to declare charges, and I don't really have any opportunities, so I just move everything pretty much forward. My spearmen go into that soft terrain as planned. My star dragon goes up by the building, hoping to get up on his flank, and my red dragon stays back, just wanting to do some blastiness. The eagles move so that they can charge the scouts and get some free points if he comes any closer. And my archers didn't move, and my white lions, since they were Curse of Anraheard, which we made a mistake, it did go off. Since they were cursed, they just didn't bother moving. It's not worth the risk. In my magic phase, I rolled 7 dice and got 1 for my Banner of Sorcery, which was on the white lions. My first spell was Flaming Sword, and I get it off on the archers, and I get to throw an extra dice, the black one there, because every time a, whatever they're called, Fire Wizard gets to Dragon Mage, whenever a Dragon Mage gets to cast, he throws an extra dice, a lot like a Slan, a really shitty Slan. Then I did Fury of Cain on the unit of Dryads that was directly to the left of my caster's unit, and I was able to pull off a shit ton of them. You didn't even try to dispel it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking. It's probably a good one to stop. I never, the direct damage spells are usually the ones that I focus on, but I figured something else was coming, like that big fireball that's up on.
Well, yeah, the big fireball was right after that, and you were able to stop that. We actually forgot to put the dice out down there. But it was a pretty good magic phase for me. I got off the buff I wanted, and I really depleted those dryads down to almost nothing. In the shooting phase, my Flaming Sword of Ruin was awesome. I pulled down a shit ton of those archers next to the treekin, and then I passed the turn.
So my turn too. There I am over measuring, checking if I'm march blocked. Obviously the highborn on the dragon over there is very scary to me. So I'm making sure I'm out of line of sight, and I end up moving everyone sort of either out of charge range, out of line of sight, or like at the very edge of the charge range. And I continue to move my other flank to try and get around. Moved up my archers, nothing like short range wood elf bow fire. And I kind of moved some of my other stuff around, moved my lord over close to the dragon. I think ideally I would love to get my lord into his lord and see what happens with my annoyance. Not sure if that'll happen, but we'll find out. The next one, now we have the magic phase. I got a pretty high roll, no channels. He let me get off the Feast of Crows.
Flock of Doom.
Whatever. Killed only 3 of them. Not bad. I can't really expect a lot from that. I also got off the bolt thrower on them, and on the white lines, and I ended up rolling a 1 to wound on the first one, so it didn't really do anything.
Get shit on!
The most I could have killed anyway was 3, so it wasn't going to be that big of a deal. And then I tried to cast looks like another curse, probably on the white lines, and it was dispelled by that.
Yeah. And shooting phase again.
A couple more white lines, I think.
Yeah, I think you got 3 white lines that phase, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. And all right. In my next turn, it's time to declare some charges. I have 2 eagles. One of them charged the scouts, and you stood and shot and did no wounds, I believe.
No wounds.
And then I declared a second shot. I got a little greedy. I was thinking that I was facing Way Watchers. I never noticed that they were regular scouts. I thought they were Way Watchers, so I thought I needed 2 eagles to do the job. So I guess that's a case of Jeremy modeling for advantage.
I told you in the beginning.
No, you didn't tell me shit. So I declared the second charge, and he fled. And I tried to get the boxcars and didn't bother trying to redirect, because there wasn't a lot to redirect into. I think in the front, 1 eagle against the Wild Riders would have really sucked. And I can't count on both eagles making it, because both of them would have to make a non-rerollable leadership check, which I didn't feel too confident about. So I just went after my original quarry, failed both, got a 4 on one of them and a 3 on the other for the movement. So they didn't move far. And I figured next turn, if he wanted to charge him, I'd just flee and probably stay on the board. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. With the rest of my army, I moved my dragon strongly into the flank of his army and moved my fire dragon up into the position where the star dragon just was, which is a nice little in-between area where you can move forward and start hitting the flank of units. And my spearmen advanced further, and so did my white lions. My white lions are hoping to get in charge range of anything. His treekin would have been really nice. And then my one of my eagles went to the side of my white lions just in case he tried to get too tricksy with his fast cav. I'd be there to block him off next turn. And in the magic phase, I start off and I cast a Shield of Saffrey on the white lions. It goes off. And then I cast the Fury Cane, and that is dispelled, unfortunately. That was one I really wanted to get off.
Luckily, I had those 2 additional levels over you, so...
Yeah, you're a bastard. And then I tried Flaming Sword of Ruin. I threw 3 dice and got my bonus dice, and I miscast, which really sucked. And then I lost 2 levels, three levels actually. So I lost that spell and my only other spell. So my fire mage is now level 0 with no spells. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer because when I was rolling on high magic, I rolled garbage. The 3 spells I wanted, I didn't get any of the 3. What I wanted was Vols Unmaking, Flames of the Phoenix, and Curse of Arrow Attraction. And instead, the only useful thing I got was Fury of Cain. So with my last dice, I threw Drain Magic, and it didn't go off, unfortunately. And in the shooting phase, I was feeling pretty hot. Flaming Sword of Ruin. I hit 3 times on the Wild Riders. I got 2 wounds, and he made 2 ward saves. Too bad you weren't eligible to make them, but we didn't know that at the time.
And you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
We forgot about it. So.
Yeah, Warmonger dice are 6/6. And then I passed the turn.
Yeah, so it looks like my turn. I did not have any charges, but as you can see, my scouts, they actually did not rally, and they're about ready to continue running, and we'll see if they stay on the board. I moved some of my other stuff around way over in the corner. If you can, you can see me fleeing right here. I only went 5, so that was good. I got another chance to rally, and now it's time to move some other stuff around. You can probably, I guess we don't have a picture of it, but my lord who's over there in the corner behind the tree can that you can see, he's going to fly over behind the dragon. And then I'll try to set up some blocking with my War Dancers, with the 2 Dryads are left from 1 unit, and an Eagle. Try and block the charge against my Treekin, and the other stuff just again moves up the flank more. Here we have the magic phase. Again, had a pretty good magic phase as far as dice go. Looks like Matt channeled 1. He let the Flock of Doom go. Again, killed 3 of them, slowly whittling away at those white lions. Defying all odds. Tried to throw another curse at them. He dispelled it, and I threw a Wissons at the War Dancers in anticipation of a possible charge from the dragon.
I had 1 more dispel dice here. I just forgot to use it, and I don't know that it really would have mattered much with the way he threw his dice and rolled.
So this looks like some nice shooting. I believe I used my Hail of Doom arrow on this turn.
This was a shit ton of shooting. This was every unit in your army shooting, including Hail of Doom.
Yeah, luckily for Matt, he has the Lion Cloaks for the armor save, and then he also had the shield up. So it didn't do too much damage. But
I think the Hail of Doom did 1, and another unit did 1, and then your unit that were strength 3 actually did 2. So...
way to go, Wood Elves.
Very lucky for me.
So it looks like we're moving on to Matt's turn?
So on my turn, I obviously have a few charges. My Spearmen are declaring a charge against his Eagle, and he decided to hold with that. And my thinking here is if the Spearmen hit the Eagle and the Star Dragon hits the War Dancers, Star Dragon should eat the War Dancers, overrun into the Eagle. Then I get to fight the Eagle, and then I take my Spearmen into his Dryads, and the Star Dragon gets to reform. That's the plan here, and if this stuff goes off, I really feel like I'm pulling myself back into the game after losing my best caster. My White Lions declare charge against his Mage's unit, but before that happens, my Great Eagle charges that same unit. He declares stand and shoot. He's at -4 to hit me, and he does 2 wounds. So that was fucking excellent.
I think I also used my Horn of the Azri on this turn.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Which you can tell didn't do anything. It was on 3 units. They all passed their leadership tests.
Yeah, 2 of those units were going to be charging him anyway. So I made my leadership check on the Spearman, who didn't have to charge his Mage's unit. And really, that's all that it affected. I also made my leadership checks on the Eagle and the White Lions. But it didn't matter because I wanted to charge anyway. So, all in all, it's looking really good. Oh, until I roll the charges. White lions fail. They roll like a 3. And the spearmen, who needed a 6, fail. That was really cool. And the dragon makes it in, of course. He didn't need to roll. And the lone eagle on 1 wound makes it in. So that's awesome as well. In the rest of the movement phase, all I do is reform my archers. And for other movements, I move an eagle to make it so that the dryads can't possibly hit my white lions. And by keeping the dryads back, it makes so that the war dancers can't do anything either. And I move my other eagle to do another charge on those what I thought were Way Watchers next turn. My fire dragon moves up because with no casting, I'm going to throw this I'm going to throw this dragon into combat as soon as possible.
You can say that, I think.
I'm not sure. In the magic phase, I roll real big money. I rolled 9 for the Winds of Magic. I got an extra 2 dice from my banner, and then I channeled 1. So I'm sitting on 12. Too bad I only have 1 spell. Fury of Cain does go off, I think. No, it doesn't.
Got it off, but it double sixed it, so.
Yeah, I rolled really high. It was really looking good for me, Jeremy. Double sixed it. So no Fury of Cain, my only good spell. And then I cast the Shield of Safri, and that goes off, which is great for 5 ups. And then I don't know what I was thinking. For Drain Magic, instead of throwing 2 or 3 dice at it, I just dropped the rest of the dice in my hand, and it was absolutely terrible. I got a miscast, followed by a Dimensional Cascade, which I failed, and I killed 8 archers in the process.
Things are looking good for me now.
I feel really emotional about this.
That was his favorite mage.
Yeah, that was my favorite mage. Right next, after the other mage, that was my favorite mage, and now I have no mages, so that was really good. And in the shooting phase, I do just about nothing, which can be expected. In the combat, with my Star Dragon and the War Dancers, what did you choose? Killing Blow?
I chose Killing Blow. I figured there'd be a couple left after your Highborn killed some, and there were. And I didn't actually end up getting any off, I don't think, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have gotten lucky on a Killing Blow, that would have been pretty nice for you.
Have your 4-up ward save.
Yeah, 4-up ward save between me and death. But instead, I killed 7 War Dancers and overran. When you broke, you had to take a leadership check on your eagle, and see you later.
Too good, I guess.
Yeah, not too good.
He ran away. He ran through a unit of archers.
Yep.
But they luckily passed their check. It was rerollable anyway. So.
Yeah, I was pretty careful to line up my dragon so that I would overrun into the eagle, and if the eagle was gone, I would go straight into the treekin. It was awesome. I needed like a 6. I roll a 7, and I hit the side of the treekin. In the combat with the mages unit, I luckily didn't take any wounds, and I gave 2 back. And since you're in the woods, you get no rank bonus, right?
Yeah. So I wasn't stubborn this one. So, but I was lead 9. I think, and I was rolling a 6 rerollable. Failed it the first time, but luckily.
Oh God, I wish you would have failed that.
Yeah, that would have been pretty clutch.
Yeah, and also, I didn't put these 2 attacks on your mage because I just stupidly assumed that you had the same magic item kit that you always have. I feel like every time I've ever played you've had a 4-up on that guy.
Had the 4-up ward save. Was trying the Stellar Horn of the Azri this time, though, which I told you before.
You did. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. So that's the end of the turn for me, and I'm ready to pass it over.
So it looks like my turn over here. Obviously, annoying eagle. Want to get rid of that. If we were going center to center, Matt realized that if he fled, he was running towards the white lions, I guess. So he wanted to hold, and instead of trying to redirect me a different way. So I got the dryads into the eagle over there. The big one is the one over in the corner. You can see my lord is trying to rear charge his dragon lord. I needed a 6, I believe, and looks like all the charges, and they all end up making it.
Yeah, I was really fingers crossed for you to fail that Lord charge. Had you failed that, oh man, those Treekin would have been dust this turn.
Yeah, flaming attack with the
flaming
with the breath
magical,
weapon.
flaming magical attacks on the
Been
flank
bad.
with a charge. There's no way you could
It's a
have
lot of points
held
right
up.
there.
Yeah,
And then, as we can see in this next shot, the scouts, they did not rally again, and they rolled an 8 to go off the board.
yeah. I wish those were Way Watchers, because Way Watchers are worth a lot more points.
Yeah, it would have been 120 instead of 85, I believe.
Get shit on.
Life sucks sometimes. So here we have the rest of my movement, sort of positioning my Wild Riders to charge anything that gets through all the shooting I have. Move my Dryads over there in the back towards the Spearman unit, and I think I moved some of my other guys, my archers, so that they were just on the edge of being in close range of the White Lions, but far away so that it doesn't make the charge easy. Moving on to magic, rolled my first really low phase this time, and I tried to get a Wissens off on the archer unit that's fighting the eagle right over there in the corner.
Yeah.
And I managed to get it off against his only 2 dispel dice. So we got some strength 4, toughness 4 archers. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that does not bode well for my eagle, to say the least.
And then again we have some shooting. Did quite a few wounds, I think. Killed some more White Lions, and we only got, looks like 3 left over there.
Yeah, it's down to the command group.
And then we have this combat over here, which obviously we didn't think the eagle was going to win that, right?
No. I think the eagle was sacrificial. I was kind of hoping I was going to make my fear check. That would have made it so I at least got to make a break check. But instead, I failed my fear check, so you were able to just kill me outright.
Right. So, and then moving on to the eagle archer combat. I had the initiative, I had Wissens up, and I only need to do 1 wound. I think I did a couple, but you fell over dead.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was kind of hoping to just get a couple extra attacks in, but didn't happen.
Here we have some nice other pictures from some different angles that Paul took, which don't really show anything additional.
Yeah,
But,
thanks, Paul.
They look nice, I guess. And then here's the combat everybody wants to see. So luckily I got that rear charge, and of course I challenged, so he can't attack the Treekin, and I have the annoyance up. So that was good. So I had the annoyance up. He ended up doing a bunch of wounds to me. And he used his breath weapon attack too. Did a ton of wounds. Luckily I had the dragon helm. Ended up saving all of those. He got me down to 2 wounds, and so all the remaining wounds that he did on me, I had a 2-up ward save.
Yeah, let's talk about this combat for a minute. So, Annoyance and Netlings, for you people who don't have the Wood Elf book, is in a challenge, the character can only be hit on 6s. So he declares a challenge. I absolutely can't refuse because I'm a single model character. And I accept. I get to attack him with my 4 attacks. I count as charging, so I'm count as strength 6. I need 6s to hit him. Since I'm always strikes first and we're the same initiative, I get to re-roll failed to hit rolls. So I hit him, I think I hit you twice. And then those 2 both wounded, and you didn't have any sort of save against that, so you took 2 wounds.
Took 2 wounds.
Well, then my dragon goes. My dragon hit you once. No, I'm sorry. My dragon hit you 3 times this phase. There's 3 6s. And then I also had my breath weapon, which is flaming, which you get a 2-up against, but you already have a 2-up anyway, because this character setup gives a 2-up ward save on the final wound, and he's on his final wound already. So I did something like 3, I think, dragon saves and 3 flaming breath weapons.
Right.
And you save them all on 2s.
Saved everything. It was great. Huzzah. And then my guy, he's got the great weapon. So he's going last. Attacked on the dragon because I figured, I'm not going to hurt the Lord really. He's got a 1-up, 2-up rerollable and a 4-up ward save. So
he's pretty good.
Strength 6, it'd probably be hard. So go against the dragon. I ended up doing 2 wounds to it. The eagle obviously did nothing because he sucks, but whatever. So I ended up winning by a couple, but Matt, as you can see there, he rolled a 5 for his break check.
Yeah,
Everyone's happy.
thankfully. I didn't take a BSB this game. I don't think I'd ever go to a tournament without a BSB, but I just want to kind of have a fun game. So that's it. Pass the turn. My turn. First things first, I declare charge with my Dragon Mage on his caster's unit, who I guess
Promptly flees.
Yeah, fled immediately.
Scary charge, even though it's just a Dragon Mage, because the dragon's going to kill me.
You know, I don't know if we remembered to have that eagle make a break check, but we'll assume it did. And then my Dragon Mage redirects successfully into the other archer unit, who also flee. So now my White Lions have a choice. They can go for a completed charge against a unit that will stand and shoot and potentially kill them. Or they can charge that mage's unit and, hopefully send them a lot closer to the table edge. Well, I chose the mage's unit, and he fled and did not go off the table edge, and also did not go out of BSB range for the rally. In retrospect, maybe I should have sent it into the stand and shoot, but there's a really good chance I would have been toast from that. So then my eagle declares a charge against the war dancers. I also had the choice of throwing them into the wild riders, and I think the odds were actually better for me against the wild riders. The wild riders have 2 strength 4 attacks and 1 strength 3. The war dancers have 6 strength 3 attacks.
With the +1 dance,
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I actually, now that I think about it, I guess the War Dancer one's a little bit better because I also have the Stomp. But I went against the War Dancers, and I completed that charge. And I failed both my charges with the Dragon Mage and the White Lions. And my Spearman declared a charge against his general and made it. My thought here was just add some combat res. So I don't want another combat round like the last where my general was losing by 2. This time I'm going to have a charge, a flank. I guess I already had a flank, but I'd have a charge and 3 ranks in a banner. So I'm looking really good to win this combat no matter what happens.
Not looking good for me.
Yeah, not at all. And let's see, there's no magic phase because my mages are very useless.
Dead and...
Yeah, they're dead and useless. So in the shooting phase, I aim those archers at the dryads that are on top of the hill. He gets no cover save. He's skirmisher, so I hit him on 4s. And lo and behold, I kill a shit ton.
Ton of them.
Yeah, these archers are great. I get him down to just 3 dryads. Unfortunately, there's no points for that. But I did make it so that the dryads aren't really a threat. And then we go on to the combat phase. The eagle is able to kill a couple war dancers, and actually, sorry, 1 war dancer because you made your other ward save.
Right.
And yeah, you get 2 wounds on me, but I still win the combat because I got a flank and a charge. And I'm hoping for you to fail that leadership, and you don't.
Yeah, I had the BSB nearby too, so.
Yeah. Okay. I went for a lot of risks in this game because I was trying to win. I should have tried to draw, really.
Those games are no fun though.
Yeah. But when you take chances, sometimes you get big payoffs, as you'll see later. In the combat with the Lord and the Spearman, as I predicted, I win the combat, but nothing happens. I didn't do any wounds to your guy because he made all 3 of the 2 ups that I asked him to make, and you didn't do any back to me. So I win the combat by 1, I believe,
yeah,
or was it 2?
By 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, my general's right there, so everyone was testing on 8 except for the general.
And nobody's in BSB range.
Right, no BSB range, and I passed all my tests.
Yeah, that was awesome. I was really happy for you.
I was.
And you didn't fail your fear check. I was very happy for that too. That was awesome.
I'm glad that you want good things to happen.
Yeah, I was very excited.
You're a decent human being.
Yeah, the war dancers reformed at the end of the combat to face my eagle, and other than that, I passed the turn.
Yep. So it looks like it's my turn. There wasn't too much movement, I don't think. I
think it's just the Dryads and the Wild Riders.
Yeah, I think. My Dryads who were over near the Spearman combat, the big Lord Spearman combat, they moved a little bit. At the bottom of the screen, looks like War Dancers and Dryads moved, trying to get a rear on the White Lions. And then we moved to Magic. Got a Flock of Doom, which would have been nice to get off on those White Lions, but
yeah, 2 left. I got to protect those points.
Dispelled it. Yeah, a lot of points in that unit. And then I ended up casting a Curse on which unit did I cast? I cast Curse on the Spearman unit who was engaged in combat. So in case they reformed or did something, some kind of movement, they would lose some guys, hopefully.
That was a really good call, actually. I was hoping you were going to cast that on the White Lions, and then I could just kind of hold in place or go for the third chance of living. But instead, you did it against the big unit, which is the right choice.
Because Matt's got his Spearman over there, and I have my Dryads threatening, so obviously he doesn't, he can do a combat reform, so I'm not in his flank or rear or anything like that. So I figured it might be a good way to stop him from doing that. Also, something that you can't really see here is that all of my units rallied that flowed the turn before, which is obviously how I'm casting Magic this phase. So
terrible.
They were all in BSB range, I believe, musicians, so they were 10s and 9s. Rerollable. So.
I mean, everybody knows that bragging rights are cheat dice, but Warmonger dice have a very, very long reputation of cheating.
Except for mine.
Except for leadership checks. God, you make every leadership check you try.
Maybe in this game, but...
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time.
So then we did some more shooting. As you can see here, I managed to get the White Lions down to one guy left.
The champion!
Yep, he's just sitting there, giving me the finger. He's like, still didn't get any points yet.
Yeah, get shit on.
Awesome.
So, ETC restrictions, you would get 50% points here.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of tournaments that do it this... Well, maybe not a lot. There's a few tournaments that do it this way. I'd kind of like to see it more often, because I hate at the end of the game where everything's fleeing, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't get any points for any of this.
Yeah, it can make a game look very one-sided. Like you did nothing the whole entire game. You feel like, even though it's like you got 3 units running around with 1 guy left.
Yeah, you get a unit down to 1 or 2 guys, and then it just says, "Okay, fuck you guys, I'm going home," and there's nothing you can do about it.
Anyway, it looks like it'll work out for you maybe in this one.
Yes.
No half points. So then we had the moving on to the combat phase. I don't think that Eagle, he didn't have a chance, really.
He had a slight chance. Very slight chance. He dies.
Again, I think I did a few wounds, but I only needed to do 1, so... He died, and then I believe I did a reform to face some of the archers. There we go, yes. Then on to the combat that everyone cares about again. Matt went first. I believe you rolled a few 6s with your dragon and your guy, right?
Yeah, I got 2 6s, 2 wounds with my rider. You made both saves, which was really nice of you. And then I did 1 with my dragon, and you made that save too, which was awesome of you.
Yeah, go 2 up ward saves. Yeah, so I think with your ranks and everything, I think you won that one again by 1 maybe.
Yep, by 1 this time.
And so everyone's testing on a 9, except for my highborn is a 10, and once again, they all pass it, so some good dice rolling on my part.
Yeah, God Dice Jeremy strikes again, and gets himself 3 past leaderships.
There's no reason to be so angry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I am bitter.
So I think that was it for the turn. As you can see over there, Matt had reformed as well. That was before I cast Curse. I think he must have reformed the turn before that, just so my Dryads hadn't flank charge on him. But as you can see in this picture, I had moved them again to the flank.
Yeah, let's kind of recap there. Last turn, at the end of the turn, I had won, so I had the choice to reform with anything but my dragon. I reformed my spearmen so that they were facing the Dryad that were on at that time, the flank of my spearmen, and I made it so that if his Dryads did charge my spearmen, he was going to be facing 4 ranks, which, I think Dryads are tough, but they can't take 4 ranks of Elven Spearmen. I wish we would have mentioned that before.
And yeah, so I think that was it. So I think it's moving on to Matt's turn 5.
Yeah, all right. Well, there's not a lot left for me to do. I declare a charge with my Fire Mage on a unit. I declared a charge with my Dragon Mage on a unit of archers, and then I declared my archers into the flank of his Wild Riders. I'm feeling pretty good about both these combats.
Yeah, that was a pretty stupid mistake by me. For some reason, I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah, so you hold, obviously, because you're immune to Psych on the Wild Riders. And I make it into the Wild Riders, and my Dragon Mage lets me down. He does not roll the 6 I asked him to roll. So instead, he just sits out there doing nothing. For the rest of my movement, I move my remaining remaining White Lion so that he can get charged by the Dryads, which are 7 inches away. So if he charges them, we're dicing off, and I get a +2 to my dice roll, basically. And then I'll also get hard cover against the unit with the BSB if they try to shoot at that White Lion. So I'm feeling okay about keeping those points as long as he doesn't hit me with a Flock and Doom. In the combat phase, because of course we're skipping the magic and shooting phases, my archers kill 1 Wild Rider. He kills 1 of my guys back, and I'm up. I'm up on this. And
it's looking bad for me. The only good thing I have is the 3d6 going for me. That's it.
Yeah, I've got a rank, a charge, a banner, and nothing else. But still, -3. That's awesome. That's really awesome. You flee, and I roll a 6.
Yep, well, you were a couple inches behind me.
Not psyched about that.
I got away.
I needed that, man. I needed that for my self-confidence, if anything else.
Yes, I know. You're severely lacking in self-confidence.
I know. Everybody says that. And, other than the big combat, that was really all we had this turn. In the big combat, my lord actually does a couple more wounds to your lord, and you make your 2-ups. Getting a little sick of these 2-ups, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just getting really lucky, I guess.
And my dragon takes 2 more wounds. Your guy's hitting me on 4s, wounding me on 4s. Yeah, so I only have a 6-up armor, so it's pretty easy for me to take wounds, and I'm not able to do my most powerful attack against you, the Thunder Stomp.
Right. That's why you put him on the Eagle.
Yes, that is why you put him on the Eagle. This was a good charge for you to make.
So I think we also see, looks like you're missing some spearmen there. How'd that happen?
Yeah, well, at the end of the combat, he had moved his Dryads last turn into the rear of my spearmen, so, or I guess the flank of my spearmen, and I had to turn to face, and accepting that I'd take a third of them in casualties, just because if I didn't, I knew I was going to lose the entire unit. So I turn to face, and I lose 8 spearmen, which is not the end of the world, but I'm certainly not happy about it, because we rolled the first 20 dice, and I had only lost 2, and then I rolled the last 9 dice and, lost 6 more, which is a pretty big bummer. And then I passed the turn.
Yeah, so on to my turn 6. Looks like I only have 1 charge maybe this turn, if you can see all the way back there. The Dryads got to make that charge on the Spearmen. My last turn, need to get some more points. It's looking pretty close at this point here. So I go for that.
Yeah, let's take a moment. I think at this point, it looks pretty good for me to pick up some points with my Dragon Mage. It doesn't look great for you to get the points off my White Lions. So basically, you have all the points for my Eagles, and I've got the points for a couple of your little units. And really, at this point, it is really anybody's game, other than the fact that you still have strong shooting and strong magic left.
You got that 1 White Lion left, and I got some shooting left.
So for the last couple of turns, we're going to be joined by Chris O'Brien and Paul Gates of the Lost Legion, who have both been on the show before, and both of them happen to see the end of this game.
Hello.
What's up?
Game of the year.
Yeah, game of the year. Best game ever. everyone knows Wood Elves overpowered, right, Paul?
OP.
Nerf,
Right.
please.
So, I was like 7 inches away, so there's no way I could fail this charge, and I made it against the front of the spearmen. So then we moved on to the magic phase, cast a Flock of Doom. Guess who I cast it at? I cast it at
get shit
the
on.
one white lion. So it goes off, he's not able to stop it.
I tried my hardest.
I rolled, what, four
hits
on a 2d6. Did 1 wound.
One wound.
And you see that 5 right there? That's an armor
Oh
save.
yeah.
So the
Please
white
tell
lion
me.
is
Please
still
tell me
alive.
you're allowed to use armor against Flock of Doom. Did we ever check that out?
Yes, you can use armor. It really is that shitty of a spell. 2d6 strength.
So if I remember it correctly, Crow Feast did not allow armor saves.
No, Crow's Feast was armor, but it was
It was like
3d6 strength too.
3d6 strength too.
And they
Okay.
felt, that was overpowered for the beast lore, obviously, so they should just make it 2d6.
Yeah. Fuck having people actually field beasts.
Well, they gave it a much cooler name.
That's right.
So
Flock
you
of
get
Doom
that.
is the best.
Yeah. All right.
And then, so that was all his dice, I believe. And so I tried to cast the Curse on the Spearman unit, which I thought would be handy. -1 to hit against those Dryads, which are in their front, and it goes off. So
Yeah, I'm not
Pretty
psyched about this. It went off by exactly enough, right? Because there's Drain Magic up
Drain
at this
Magic
place.
was
Actually, no. Sorry, Drain Magic was up last turn.
yeah.
Last turn when you cast
Yeah, it
the
just got it
curse,
off.
you had just gotten it off by 1 point.
So then, after Magic Phase, I obviously moved to shooting. Unfortunately, that one white lion, he's within range of all my archer units because I moved them up, but he's blocked everywhere by troops, forests, things like that. So
And long range.
long range, yep. So everyone's hitting on 6s, and
Yeah, in the end, it came down to he had already warded off, whatever it was, 30 shots, and then your BSB went up and failed to wound.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was
think
pretty
I
happy.
did maybe 3 wounds or something like that. You got your 3 up armor. So
Yeah.
he's still alive. I don't have anything left. Looks like he might make it through the rest of the game.
I don't have much more to wait.
So then we moved on to the combat. We only have one, the one that everyone is waiting to see what happens.
Everyone.
Everybody. So luckily my initiative on those charging dryads is 6, so you don't get your ASF rerolls.
Yeah, I don't get my rerolls. I'm hitting you on 5s,
You
which
passed your
is
fear check, so that was good.
pretty fucking terrible, though, that I'm hitting you on 5s.
Yeah.
Had I hit you on 4s, I think I would have had a couple more casualties, but I'm hitting you on 5s. I don't have the flaming banner.
Wouldn't have done anything against dryads, but
True.
Oh, it wouldn't have?
No.
Oh, you know what? I thought it negated their ward save.
no.
My mistake. So I kill 1 dryad. He
Yeah.
kills back 3 spearmen. This is all, right at the beginning. And before the highborn has even had a chance to go. And I attack with my lord. He whiffs. Good thing I have a reroll. He whiffs. Attack with the dragon. He whiffs.
Got lucky there.
Yeah, and Jeremy doesn't do any wounds back, so I'm still thinking things are good, except for the fact that I lost combat by...
You ended up losing by 2 because of
2.
I had the wounds, I had the rear.
Yep. You've got a rear, we both got flanks, I've got 2 ranks, you've got 1 rank, and in the end I lose by 2. I make my leadership with my stubborn spearman, and I will say, for my own defense, I do make my leadership with my stubborn dragon prince, but he's not stubborn, so he dies.
So that's a problem.
Yeah,
He runs away.
Yeah, I tried everything I could. I said, let's determine the direction of flight. And Jeremy pointed out that even though he doesn't have rank bonuses, he still has ranks for determining direction of flight. So I have to flee away from the dryads, meaning there's almost no chance, or actually perhaps there's no chance that I can stay on the board from this, and I roll an 11 and go right off the fucking board. So that's terrible. That's sad face. It went from a draw to a not looking too good for me. I've only got 1 turn left to bring back a lot of points.
And at the end of that, I reformed my lord as well.
Yeah.
Who's in the rear of the spearman now.
Yeah, I'm not too worried.
He's still alive on 1 wound.
Yeah, that 2+
ward save.
ward, it's pretty good. I'm not too worried here because Spearman I'm going to get a lot of attacks. If he wins, he's not going to win by much, and then I'm still going to be stubborn. And on top of that, I've got the standard of discipline. So I'm feeling all right about this.
Are the treekin loose there? They're ready to charge?
The treekin are loose.
Turn 6, so they're loose, but they can't do anything.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just me, and then the game's over. So this is the table. We're getting into my last turn, and you can see he's moved his war dancers kind of out so that they can't be attacked or anything like that. And I've just got one unit that can charge, and that's my Dragon Mage. I could have charged with my archers, but I chose to hold them back because I felt like it was a risk if I sent them into that unit of Wild Riders. So the Dragon Mage charges his your Archmage's unit, and you held, which was terribly retarded. Why'd you hold?
That was pretty stupid. The one thing I forgot is I figured, he's a character. Even though I don't have a ward save on my mage, I still have my champion. I still have the rank. I'll still be stubborn, lead 9, BSB, because I can challenge with my champion. The one thing I forgot was that, like 3 turns ago, during that eagle combat, as you had killed my champion.
Get shit on.
So I figured, anyway, I thought I had the champion. I figured it was better just to hold rather than flee and accidentally run off the board or something like that. So
yeah, you would have had to roll like an 11 to go off the board at that point. But yeah, I guess, it's a risk.
Better odds of that happening than failing a lead 9 stubborn reroll. Right?
But you're not stubborn. I've got a Dragon Mage going into you, dude. Dragon Mages are OP.
I had my champion.
I can't believe they're not restricted. They're so awesome.
I bet you killed him on the stand and shoot, though.
Well, I didn't even stand and shoot because I didn't want to kill the mage on top because I didn't have my champion.
All right, so we skip straight on to combat because I've got no magic left, on level 0, no spells, and I make it into your unit. It was awesome, and I killed, 7 of them on the charge?
Killed a ton of them.
Did a wound on your Archmage and 7 on the charge, so you're testing on double ones because you didn't do any wounds back because, you suck, man. You suck.
So Snake Eyes reroll and
get shit on.
At least he wasn't my general.
Yeah, well, you made all your leaderships for the 6-inch bubble, so that was really good for you. And at this point, the game's almost over. All that's left is for my spearmen, spoiler alert, to run away because they lost the combat by 1.
Yeah, they were still stubborn, but you rolled a 9.
Yep. No, they were stubborn on a 9. I rolled a 10.
Oh, you rolled a 10.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was a bummer. So that's the end of the game. And I begrudgingly extended the hand for the shake at the end. So added up the points. I think you got, 13?
13 or 14.
Oh, almost 1,400 off me. You got 1,375.
You got around 750 from me.
You mean 1,750, right?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, no. So this was a fun game. I made a few mistakes, and I think that the Dragon Mage, although it's a fun option, is not very fun come turn 4 or 5.
It's a lot of points for something that doesn't really do much.
Yeah, he doesn't do much. In combat, it's actually nice in 8th edition that you don't lose the points for the mage, even though he's bound to die in combat. But whatever, it was a cool little choice. I'm still happy with the Star Dragon, although I think I'd do the standard build, which is you take him with a crown, so he doesn't run away.
Not as good as Dark Elves.
Not as good as Dark Elves.
Better than my Wood Elf crown.
I don't know about that. The Wood Elf guy, you can take, what is it, the multiple shots that ignore armor saves?
You could, but I mean, if the whole point is to get him into combat.
No. The point's not to get him into combat. Point's to keep him alive and keep his points on the table.
Yeah, I mean, if you want him to be shooting, but I like him as, he ties up stuff. Big stuff you can't handle. Characters, something.
Yeah.
Hold him up for a couple rounds. Like, there's nothing in my armor really that can take your Star Dragon Prince.
Yeah. Well, this is my first real game with High Elves, so it was fun to use a new army. Have you played the High Elf Wood Elf matchup a lot, or just lately?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really too many tournament high elves these days. One guy from the Lost Legion, Ben, he's been home from spring break the last couple weeks.
Spring break, woo!
Warhammer.
It's not as much fun when you're 16.
Yeah, really.
That's true. But
17.
I played him for a few games and actually beat him up pretty bad a couple times. So
Yeah, you
Wood
know,
elves aren't that bad, I guess. Maybe high elves are even worse. Who knows? Maybe I'm just that good.
I think
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that high elves are better in the metagame, but
Yeah.
wood elves, they have an okay matchup against high elves, especially a build like this where I've only got a couple units,
Yeah.
and my magic was really not threatening at all. Every turn I had 2 spells that you wanted to stop, and the rest you didn't even care if I got them off or not.
Yeah, I didn't even end up using my scroll.
Yeah, so are you using this? Dude, don't rub it in. So are you using this list at Colonial?
Yeah, maybe something like it. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'd taken out the Tree Man, tried to replace it with some other units, just trying to mix it up a little bit. I figured the Tree Man, he's not really as good with life. Obviously, he's a shooting magnet,
Yes.
which is good, but, one flaming cannonball, he's pretty much gone, so he's kind of a liability in a lot of games these days.
Totally agree.
And without the life to heal him back, I figured I would just drop him.
Yeah.
Go back to my more 7th edition oriented list where I had lots of war dancers, lots of fast cav who were dancing around, and it feels good to be able to outmaneuver someone.
Well, with all the deployments you have, you can do quite a bit just in the deployment phase.
Right. Yeah, that's another good point.
Yeah, if your opponent's not ready for it and has a small army, they might deploy centrally or on a flank where you can put all your bulk on an opposite flank.
Exactly. That's the idea. Stay away as long as possible with the Wood Elves.
Yeah.
Shoot them up. Got a lot of shots, like 40 shots about.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing Team Dragon for Colonial. Half as a joke and to be funny, but also half because
It's not a joke for me.
we think dragons are awesome. Paul, what are you running?
I like the Chaos Dragon and some other stuff.
Yeah,
Chaos
basically.
Dragon and 10 Chaos Knights, and that's pretty much the army.
Yeah, I think Travis is running a zombie dragon, a terrorgeist, a shit ton of vargeists, and a bunch of other stuff, which really the rest of the stuff doesn't matter. Chris, do you know what you're playing?
Dark Elves, in theory.
In theory.
Dragon?
Yeah.
A black dragon, a hydra, a peg, and other stuff.
He doesn't
right?
sound so excited about it.
We had 2 losses today against Paul's Chaos Army and then an Ogre Army, so
The Brogers.
The Brogers won.
it's not looking good for the Colonial matchups.
Just hope you play, high elves every game.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of playing High Elves with Star Dragon, but I think I'm going to lend those to Alex Schmid, and I'm going to play, I think, Lord of Change. I've never actually used one, but I think he's close enough to a dragon. I can still be on the team, right?
Yeah, that's not...
Yeah, he's just like a dragon.
Except you cast spells.
His stats are the same.
You're kicked off Team Dragon, then?
I'm captain.
I
So,
will
yeah.
not be joining Team Dragon.
Just to close out the show, I want to just go over the Mantic models again. These are really great models, and Ronnie from Mantic was kind enough to supply us with a whole army's worth. We have a High Elf army, and also my roommate Travis has a Dwarf army, which is pretty cool. We'll probably use that in another episode. Paul and Chris, I already asked Jeremy, but what do you guys think of the models in general?
They're pretty nice.
That's all you got to say?
Very good.
From way back here.
You have a good radio personality.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the Hobbit movie?
Yeah. They look like the elves from that animated Hobbit movie.
Okay, so whether you like them or not, and I know a lot of people don't like them. I mean, everybody knows that. A lot of people don't like the Mantic High Elves. But if you grew up loving the Hobbit cartoon and loving the elves from the Hobbit cartoon, I don't see how you could do anything but love these.
It's nostalgia, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're perfect. I've got here some shots of some character models that I actually didn't get to field today, but they're actually really, really great models.
Yeah, I think they look good. I think the Palace Guard, especially, if that's what they're called, even though those aren't the characters, but
Yeah.
I think they look great.
I mean, they look like toughness 3, strength 3 guys, right? You know, they don't have the giant, like, hands that an Empire guy has that's the size of his head.
Yeah, the giant hands and head syndrome.
Yeah.
We're in pajamas.
There's something in the water in the Empire. Painted.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that they look spindly and fragile, but they look like, you know, properly proportioned. But I guess, you know, it's all up to taste, and, you know, you should just always choose what you like the look of. I tend to like these.
They're like hipster elves.
Hipster elves, that's good.
Mantic also has a lot of other nice models, like the zombies, which I bought recently. Those are fantastic.
Yeah,
Ghouls.
yeah, I've got some of the
Range is
ghouls.
really good.
The
Yeah.
orcs are great.
I'm not a huge fan of the orcs, but I think the boar riders are really awesome, and the goblins are really cool too. I'm hoping that we might be able to pick up some of their abyssal dwarves, because it's really the only affordable way to play chaos dwarves. And now that they're ETC legal, I think maybe they'll find their way into tournaments. They're legal at Throne of Skulls and at ETC. So we'll see. The Northeast GTs still aren't allowing them. Instead, they're allowing... No, they're just allowing...
They have the indie list, though, right?
Well, yeah, they're allowing Kevin Coleman's list, which is cool. I like Kevin Coleman. I think the book's cool. But now that there's an official list, I don't know. I think we should probably play by the official list. Maybe allow the option to also play the Coleman list, but whatever. All right. Thanks for joining us. It was fun. I hope we get you guys on the show again. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Goodbye.